right, so our next guest, Dave Gilboa, is the co-founder and co-CEO of the online glasses retailer Warby Parker. Everyone heard of Warby Parker? Yes, my husband receives shipments from Warby Parker far too often. I'm like, you only need one pair of glasses, but nevertheless. So Dave was born in Sweden and grew up in San Diego. He attended UC Berkeley. Go Bears, not really, come on. I went to USC. Someone put that in the prompter, go Bears. David always, there are a couple Trojans in the room, come on, right? Yes, thank you, okay. Dave always expected that he might become a physician like his parents, but destiny took him to new places. He took time off to travel before starting business school, and while traveling, he left his $700 pair of prescription eyeglasses on an airplane. And this got him wondering, how come his near magical smartphone cost only a few $100s while glasses, a centuries-old technology, were so much more expensive? So while in school, he found 3 classmates who shared his frustration. And the rest is history, a lucrative history. The company is now worth more than $1 billion in sales, but it's also known for its social mission. Let's take a look at this video.
We're super excited to announce that we've now distributed over 1 million pairs of glasses to people in need through our nonprofit partners.
And this is really thanks to you, so a big thank you to our customers for making this a reality. Glasses are one of those technologies that are literally packed with magic. Right? You put on a pair of glasses and you can immediately see.
We started Warby Parker to solve problems. We wanted to transform an industry that we thought was broken, that was overcharging consumers, and we thought we could do things in a better way. But we also wanted to start a for-profit business that had a positive impact on the world. Glasses are one of the most effective poverty alleviation tools in the world, and they allow people to see, to read, to learn, to work.
And yet 700 million people don't have access to them. So when you buy a pair of Warby Parker glasses, we make a donation to one of our nonprofit partners who in turn buy a pair of glasses, distribute it to entrepreneurs they've trained, who in turn sell it in their communities.
What's great about this model is that it provides access to eyewear to those who need it most, and it does so using a market-based solution that also creates jobs.
When we started Warby Parker 4 years ago, we had no idea that we'd be sitting here celebrating 1 million pairs of glasses distributed to people in need.
Every one of our customers has played a role in helping us to get to this massive milestone, and so we just wanted to say thank you.
You're the reason why over 1 million people have glasses today.
Please welcome David Gilboa. David, welcome. So great to have you. All right, so David, you said in a commencement speech recently that your lack of industry experience made you joyfully naive. In fact, the quote is, it enabled us to get excited about an opportunity without being scared off by its complexity. Our lack of knowledge fostered a beginner's mindset that forced us to ask basic questions about every aspect of our business, while industry insiders scoffed every day. We learned more and got smarter and applied that learning. So I have to ask you, just given that you didn't have any experience in this industry, wasn't it kind of scary?
It was scary, but we also didn't know what we didn't know. And as we talked to people that were familiar with the industry, they kept pointing out why our business was never going to work because they were used to kind of the traditional ways of selling glasses. And for us, we really put ourselves in consumers' shoes and asked ourselves, why does kind of this industry at the time, less than 1% of all glasses were sold online. Most glasses were marked up 10 to 20 times what they cost to manufacture. Just had dynamics that didn't make sense to us. And because we were coming in as outsiders, we were kind of used that naivete to challenge convention and kind of flip the traditional model of selling glasses on its head.
The glasses business isn't a new business, but did you ever expect that you'd have a $1 billion company on your hands?
It's a massive industry. It's over $100 billion globally, and so we thought there was a huge opportunity. But I think we've been shocked at how quickly we've been able to grow. We recognized that we were trying to launch a brand, and that can take a really long time. But in a world that's more connected than ever, we've been just blown away by how quickly we've been able to hit some of our goals.
I want to talk about your social mission, which is really quite extraordinary. You give a pair of glasses for every pair of glasses that's sold. Was that always the intention of yours and of Warby Parker from the beginning?
Yeah, we were, as founders, we were interested in kind of bringing innovation to this industry that really we felt like had been overcharging consumers for decades. But we also recognized that all of us were really passionate about making the world a better place, and thought there was this kind of interesting opportunity to try to create a for-profit business that also does good in the world. And historically, for-profit businesses have really focused just on maximizing shareholder value, and we've relied on nonprofits and governments to solve social problems. But the world's problems are so large and complex that that's never going to really create the change that we need in the world, and thought there was an interesting opportunity where we could get the world's brightest, most motivated employees and also have a built-in social mission. And so that's something that really motivated us from day one, and we're trying to prove that you can build a large, scalable, profitable business that also does good in the world without charging consumers extra for it.
Yes, you can applaud for that. It's such an admirable mission. Do you know how much you've impacted people around the world by this mission?
This video is actually a couple years old now. We've distributed well over 3 million pairs of glasses to people in need.
3 million?
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
And it's one of the most effective poverty alleviation tools in the world. There are close to 700 million people around the globe that need glasses that don't have access to them, primarily due to cost. And so we're starting to scratch the surface, but we're hopefully also inspiring other companies, other entrepreneurs to build in social missions into their own businesses.
You're so right. When people have impeded vision of any kind in the third world, that can render people completely useless in society. So you're giving people not only their vision back, but giving them opportunities that they might have otherwise not have.
Absolutely, and we're also have recently started some programs here in the U.S. Realized that there are a huge percentage of school children, particularly in public schools in low-income areas, that need glasses that don't have access to them. And so we've kicked off programs in both New York and Baltimore, and are excited to scale up those efforts as well.
That's terrific. So you have preached, always be tired. What do you mean by that?
I don't mean that people should stay up watching TV all night and skimp on sleep. But I think we always have a philosophy that we should surround ourselves by people that energize us and activities that energize us, and force us to use that energy to challenge ourselves and push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. So at the end of the day, you kind of feel exhausted because it's been such a fulfilling effort, and you've put forth the work to make yourself learn and grow and make yourself better every day.
What's been the most fulfilling aspect of this business for you?
Building an organization. So we launched out of our apartments while we were full-time students 7.5 years ago. Now we have a team of 1,300 people and are growing really quickly. And it's just been really fun and exciting to see particularly a lot of young people that are super passionate and want to make the world a better place, kind of learn and develop in their careers.
I just asked Nate about the team that he has built. What do you look for in the people that you bring on to Warby Parker?
I think some of the qualities that we find are really important in a fast-growing business are tenacity and empathy. Despite what Hollywood portrays, most aspects of entrepreneurship and in the startup world are really unsexy. Everything from in the early days, unpacking our first 9,000 pairs of glasses and inspecting every one of them, putting them in a U-Haul and driving 6 hours through a snowstorm to drop them off at an optical lab, setting up our chart of accounts, and staying up till 4 in the morning, responding to customer emails, and really need people that no matter what kind of what the daily ups and downs of startup life bring, are going to keep moving forward and take that next step. And then empathy, one of our core values, is treat others as they want to be treated. And so that requires putting yourselves in their shoes and understanding what your customers' needs and desires are, what your teammates' needs and desires are, your suppliers, partners, and recognizing that they might be different than your own.
That's a really interesting word that I didn't expect to hear, empathy. That's something that is a core part of what you look for in employees.
Absolutely. We think it's, all businesses are just built on people, and recognizing that people are different. And so having that opportunity to put yourself in their shoes before you can respond, and same thing with customers, before you can really design solutions, need to understand what your customers are going through.
How do you connect with your customers?
One of the biggest advantages we feel like we have is that we're a direct-to-consumer business, and so we're selling our product directly to our end customers, both online and in our stores. And so we're able to get so much feedback and data from those end customers that allows us to really move quickly and iterate in every part of our business, designing better glasses, figuring out the messages that resonate, figuring out how we can design stores better. And something that I'm terrified of as we get bigger is that I personally will lose that customer connection, and a lot of our decision makers will lose that connection. And so I still take shifts in our stores. I still take shifts on our customer service on our phones, just to really remind, and we have all of our executives do the same, just to make sure that we maintain that connectivity with our end customers.
What do you do to ensure growth and innovation with your company?
So we really try to ensure that innovation springs up from every aspect of our business. We have everyone in the company fill out what we call a 515 report, and so at the end of every week, they look back at their week and in a few bullets jot down kind of what they accomplished, and then look ahead to the next week, what they hope to accomplish. It should take them less than 15 minutes to write, and it goes to their manager. It should take their manager less than 5 minutes to read. And then we also ask them to submit an innovation idea. And so we want everyone in the company to constantly questioning kind of what can we be doing better. And we want the best ideas to win regardless of where they come from. And I think in a lot of big companies, a lot of the best ideas get squashed because there's so much bureaucracy, and we really want to democratize the process of innovation.
Have you implemented a lot of the ideas that have come from your employees?
Absolutely. Every week we're constantly thinking about what we can do better, and there's some fun ones. Someone submitted an idea that we should launch a spoof site for April Fool's Day called Warby Parker, where we created a whole site around selling dog glasses, and and then other just kind of really meaningful, impactful ideas that we bring to bear.
So how do you market yourself, and what have you found are the best forms of marketing?
We always view our customers as our best marketing channel, and really think about kind of how can we deliver the best possible product and experience to those customers. One of the things that we measure, one of the metrics that we really gear the whole team around is Net Promoter Score, which is a measure of customer satisfaction. And our NPS last month was 85, which means that we're just delivering a great experience to those customers, and then they want to tell everyone in the world about it.
What would you say were your biggest hurdles when you were starting Warby Parker?
So started the company with 3 friends. We were students, and none of us had kind of a background in any of the things that we needed to do to get the business off the ground. None of us were technical, and so in designing the website, we didn't know how to actually do that. But we knew how to use PowerPoint, and so we actually designed our website in PowerPoint. We'd print out a bunch of pages on paper and go into our local Starbucks and offer to buy someone a cup of coffee if they'd spend a few minutes with us. And then we put a piece of paper in front of them and said, imagine this is a home page, you're on a website, where would you click? And they'd point somewhere on the page.
You really did that at your Starbucks? You just asked random people to...
Yeah, that was our first UX testing, and we'd flip through our pages and put another page in front of them, and they'd point somewhere, and then we'd scramble and put another page in front of them. And so we found heuristics and kind of shortcuts to get us where we need to be, even when we didn't have the necessary skills ourselves.
Did you ever feel at any point that this was an unattainable goal that you were trying to achieve?
I think we felt like we were in over our heads a little bit many times in the early days. Again, none of us being technical, we had to hire someone to build our website. And we were able to get these great features in GQ and Vogue the week we launched. And our publicist called us. He said, "Hey, guys, GQ's hitting newsstands tomorrow. You have a coming soon website up. You have to launch this thing." And so we waited until 4 in the morning. We were on the phone with our developer trying to get our website up. And the next day, we were sitting in class, a few hours later at 10 a.m., and all of a sudden, our first order started coming in, and freaked out and kind of emailed my other founders. And then another order came in, another order came in, another order came in. And after that hour-long class, realized that we had taken more orders than we had inventory for, but we had no wait list or sold-out functionality on our site, just because we didn't contemplate that was ever going to be a problem or a feature that we needed. And then we were debating, do we take the website down? Do we just keep taking orders? And so there were a lot of times in the early days where we were definitely in over our heads, but recognized the power of reaching out to customers, explaining what was going on, and making sure that they walked away with a great experience. And we kind of have tried to infuse that customer-first philosophy into our entire business as we scaled.
I imagine your customers were really receptive to that honesty and authenticity that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, just being authentic and showing vulnerability is something that most consumers, they don't experience when you complain to your airline or a large company. And so I think we were able to turn some of those negative initial experiences around and have those customers become our biggest brand champions just because we were authentic and vulnerable.
David Gilboa, were your parents bummed that you didn't become a physician?
I think they're still hoping that I'll go back to med school one day.
I think you did okay. David Gilboa, everyone, thank you so much for being here. That was terrific. Really appreciate it. Thank you.